Hello my lovely friends, I'm Fiona and welcome to my bedtime stories where I read you a chapter from my book, Are Bisexuals Just Greedy? Tonight I'm going to read you chapter 12, which is which label is better, bisexual or pansexual? This is a fabulous question, especially for the queer community. Let's start from scratch and consider how someone knows that they are straight. I used to think I was straight. In fact, I was straight. Not because I was smothering any feelings towards people of the same gender as me. Hell, I made out with a few of my university girlfriends, kissing them with tongues in front of the lads. That's guys, y'all. But never even considered that I might not be straight. Most of us are raised to be straight. And LGBTQ+ people simply weren't visible to me during the 1990s. I knew I was straight because I was attracted to guys. End of story. Then, in my mid-20s, I had the opportunity to make out with a couple of friends who were girls, and this time it was different. The experience was undeniably sexy and hot, hot, hot. So, at 27 years old, I came flying out the closet as a lesbian. I knew I was a woman. I was attracted to women. Therefore, I completely overlooked the B in LGBT and labelled myself lesbian or gay, just like TV shows and films typically and inconsiderately do. Simple as that. Or so I thought. 8 years later, I found myself dating guys again on the down low, which felt riskier than dating a woman. I'd made a name for myself as a lesbian, so I was anxious that my queer friends would call me a fraud and accuse me of not being gay enough. But when I was honest with myself, I realised that the only reason I'd been turning down dates with men was because I'd told myself that was gay. When I figured out that bisexual was more accurate, I felt like I was losing an identity that had become such an integral piece of my being. But the great news is that I shared an identity with over 50% of the lesbian, gay and bisexual community. Yep, statistically, over half of LGBT people say bisexual. It's just that too many people are afraid to say it publicly because the stigma is so rampant that our label has remained dreadfully disregarded for too long. But you watch. Things are changing quickly. In 2012, I finally embraced my position as bi within LGBT and came out as bisexual on YouTube. Almost a decade later, my video is old school compared to today's cool and efficient TikTok posts featuring bisexuals who are unable to sit still, some sporting cuff jeans, and a few more with clear iPhone cases. But I got some lovely comments, and one said I described myself as pansexual. I'll take that as a compliment, given that bisexuals have mistakenly been thought to be only attracted to cisgender men and cisgender women, whereas most bisexual people, myself included, see beyond the binary. Bi means two. Therefore, bisexuals have the capacity to be attracted to the same gender or a different gender, as in a gender different from their own. Pan means all. Therefore, pansexuals have the capacity to be attracted to all genders. Let me ask you a question. Who likes cherries? I dare to say that most people have enjoyed eating a cherry or two in their time. But did you know that there are more than 1,000 varieties of cherries grown in the United States? And not all of them taste the same. Within the two categories of sweet and sour, there's a whole spectrum of different cherries with different nuances, colours, expressions, flavours and so on. But they're all still cherries. Now imagine for a minute that cherries represent genders. Bing cherries are the variety typically used in pie. Let's say that straight people only eat Bing cherry pie. They don't like every Bing cherry pie they come across. Some like more crust, some like less, some like lattice, some like a lid. But in general, when asked, straight people say they like Bing cherry pie and would not consume any other cherry in pie or any other form. Bisexual people like Bing cherry pie too. Like straight people, they don't all want every Bing cherry pie, but they're definitely attracted to Bing cherry pie. However, unlike straight people, they're also open to enjoying a pie made with a different cherry varietal. And not all bisexual people are the same. Some bisexual people like Bing cherry pie, and one other cherry varietal. Some bisexual people like being cherry pie and more than one other cherry varietal. Some bisexual people like Bing cherry pie and many other cherry varietals. Some bisexual people like Bing cherry pie and they've got no idea how many other cherry varietals because there are so many to choose from, and how could they possibly know if they haven't tried them all? They may like all the cherries, or they may like a few, but they certainly don't want to limit their options. Pansexual people like Bing cherry pie and potentially all other cherry varietals. So is bisexual or pansexual better? It depends on who's asking. If you're labeling yourself, the answer is whichever label feels better for you. If you're labeling someone else, then just don't. Don't label someone else. Politely ask them how they identify and accept their reply, period. Now, where's that pie? I hope that cleared it up for you, my dear friends, and I hope you have the sweetest dreams. I love you all. Good night.